So in this video, I'm going to start off by showing you this. This is a paperweight from Saks Fifth Avenue. It's a glass with a flower in it. And I think when it was originally sold, it was maybe $15 each. And I put it on my windowsill. So I had 3 of them. 1 for my desk, 2 for my windowsill. And I'm going to tell you why it's relevant. In the video that I just uploaded, I have another one coming. So this won't be the next video. This will be the other video. It was after I had a beer because they were like, why don't you do a video after you have a beer? And I did it. And I had the other glasses that I have and they were sideways. And I wanted you to see me at my worst. Like, I'll tie this into what I'm about to say, but it goes back to having relationships. And I think I said this in another video where if you see someone at their very worst and you still can kind of connect to that person, that's a good sign. What this group thought they were doing to me was trying to make me something that I'm not, and then take credit for what I am. So they wanted to make it seem like I had to be this perfect person to be lovable. That you have to be sort of a flower stuck behind a glass eternally to be someone who is worthy of love, worthy of respect, worthy of privacy, worthy of a moment's peace. And what I like about these are the imperfections. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but there's a water bubble in this. So when you're looking at things suspended for all eternity a certain way, and you see those imperfections, it makes it special. So you see that right there? You see, I think I got it. Yeah. It's not the beauty that makes someone valuable. Sometimes it's the thing about them that's imperfect that makes them valuable. It's them being completely who they are. This being completely what it is. There's not another one just like this. And, you know, they said when I was shopping, I used to look at things with a fine-tooth comb. They mistakenly thought I was looking for perfection. No, I was looking for something that was unique. And they discussed the relationship I had for a long time and why I stayed with this person for a long time. And they said he said it. I'm not sure, but I would definitely say it. It was the times when we were just sitting back, goofing off, that were the best times. Not the times when we looked good and we were going someplace, but the times when we were just like, That's what I'm saying. So I want to show you me after I've had a beer. I would love to be able to buy a wine and show you me while I'm drinking wine, just talking to you folks, because it's those moments that you can't really create again. You know, they're really into creating things again, or I would say reliving again. But it's those moments you can't do it. So when I'm talking to you and there's no script at all, as you can tell. I don't prearrange things usually. I was talking to my mom and, you know, she said something about weasel. And I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to tie this video into weasel. And I wrote down, nobody can say I didn't warn them about this whole gang stalking communication system, about what these people are like. I write those things down sometimes, but usually I just say what I'm feeling at the moment. And you can't relive something exactly as it was before. They said they wanted to do this to cover up the fact that they weren't recording me years ago, but that doesn't make any sense. So what does make sense is the idea that this was designed to make me this, a flower suspended for all time, whether it's a real flower or an artificial flower behind a glass, so that it can't change, it can't grow, it can't be what a flower is supposed to be. Imperfect, varying, eventually dying. And that's not who I am or what I'm about. They made a big deal about them allegedly sending me ideas through my head. Why? Why of all human beings? I think there are billions of human beings on this earth. I think they said like 7 billion people. Why me of all people? It doesn't make sense. And when something doesn't make sense, you have to delve into why it doesn't make sense. Why would these people target me at a time in my life when I was making money? I had the ability to have my own business. I had success. That's why. That makes sense. This whole idea of just suddenly coming into my life and digging up stuff and thinking I would be ashamed or guilty and hitting me in the head so I can hear them doesn't make sense. The other thing that doesn't make sense is, why wouldn't I tell people? Why would they think I would keep this silent? They didn't. I think they thought no one would believe me. And that's a completely different type of personality. They said the other thing about me is a psychological profile they found is that I will be a gullible person, or they said that I would be the type of person who would not confront someone who's doing me wrong. They also said I was the type of person who would become violent if someone's doing me wrong. So you see how you have two different ideas that this one group is presenting, and it's contradictory. It's not based on me. It's based on their ideal me. So these are the types of people who want this. They want a flower, someone who they think is cute or attractive, stuck behind a glass for all eternity. They don't want a real woman who feels things, desires things, wants things. That doesn't fit their, I'll call it, for lack of a better word, their program. The other part about this is that talking to me 24/7 was designed to brainwash me and get me into that sort of, I call it group speak, where we're all speaking alike. They don't like the fact that I say, instead of strength, strength. Length, I don't say length, I say length. I say exit instead of exit. They don't like that because they want us all to sound alike. So we're kind of these interchangeable people who, if you don't like Shamega Johnson, there's a new person who's similar to her, who resembles her, who sounds the way we want her to sound, dresses the way we want her to dress, and will do what we want her to do. I'm never that person. I've never been that person. They said years ago when I was a little girl, I wanted, and I would have had to been a little girl, I wanted to deliver newspapers, but my mom wouldn't let me. I've told you guys this before. I wasn't allowed to do everything I wanted to do. I would never be allowed to do everything I wanted to do. So they're coming up with things that are, everybody knows, like, you know, they're coming up with, they said they're the ones who put these ideas in my mind when I was a child. That is child abuse. So what I'm telling you folks about them is that the more I reveal what they're telling me and the things they admit to, the more you can tell they're not good people. These are very bad people. And I'm surprised they want me to tell you guys, but I guess they have very little choice in the matter. The other part about this is that the more I tell you guys and I show you guys stuff, the less likely it is that they can say they gave me the ideas. You know, as I'm trying to go through my things and show you folks things, sell things, and try to get back on my feet, I'm struck by the sense, you know, that if I don't talk about this, and this is where what I wrote down comes into play, nobody can say I didn't warn them. If I don't talk about it and tell you guys what's happening, there will be people who will say no one told us. I did tell. My mom and I had a conversation this morning about, you know, there are things that happen and we watch the news together, or, you know, I watch the news, she watches the news, and we discuss certain things. And we say, boy, someone should have told them, don't do that. And part of why that's relevant is because if you've lived in New York City for a set amount of time. It's usually because you made it here. This is there's that famous line, you have to be able to make it in New York. And part of what they said they wanted was to figure out why I made it in New York and why my family made it in New York. Part of it was because we warned each other of things. Other people warned us of things. And if you don't do that, and I tell you guys about the scams and the different cons that existed in New York, if you don't do that, you fall for it. So they said I fell for a lot of scams in my life. And again, I'm not sure what they're talking about, but they'll tell me later and I'll tell you folks. But there are things in New York that if you don't warn people about, they will fall for it. And I've met people who have come to New York, didn't stay. They went back where they were originally from because it's a tough town. And I've made it here for 49 years. But I told you guys when this became a problem. So I think what I'm trying to tell you folks is that there are going to be people in this world who hurt people. There are going to be people in this world who get hurt. But as long as I can tell you about it, maybe you folks can hear what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying in a way that they can't because they don't want to. They could understand it if they wanted to, but they don't want to understand. That there are going to be people in this world who don't stay silent to their abuse. And the more of us who open our big mouths all the time, like me, opening my big mouth, the better the world is. I'm not going to stay silent. I'm going to tell the world every opportunity that I get that they pick someone who isn't like this. I'm not a little flower behind the glass. I'm a real, live, breathing woman. And I'm going to warn the world that these people exist. Thanks for watching.